news that you guys were headed to the CFP?
Well, you're probably not going to believe this. So I was in church, and we got back at like 5 a.m. And so I went to sleep for a couple hours, and my kids started scrambling around the house. And I knew the selection show started at like 11, but they said it ran till 3. So I didn't know if it was going to be announced early or late, and I really didn't want to sit there and you know agonize over it. I mean, even though you're at peace a little bit, but it was still. So I was sitting in church about 3/4 of the way through the sermon. My pocket starts. So I thought, man, it's either the end of the world or we got in. So it was I had about 100 text messages when we got out, and it was an exciting time. It's fun to be a part of that.
Yeah, say, what does it mean to you to see this team have another opportunity and potentially vie for national championship?
Man, so happy for them. So happy for Coach Lashley and our staff. And, I mean, really thinking back to the vision that we had, it's been 3 years, really, this weekend since we took the job, and we went and watched a guy named Kevin Jennings play a high school football game up at Frisco Star, and that's 3 years ago this weekend. And so, man, to see what we've been able to put together in 3 years and the vision Coach had and the players we've been able to go out and get, and they've bought into our vision, but really led by – that original core of Dallas kids that came in here and believed in what it was that we were seeing and thought. And I'm happy for the people at SMU. It's for everybody that I talked to has talked about all the years of trouble that they had to put up with. And it's just been such a empty feeling in place for so many decades, and to watch even all those little people going back to Coach Jones and Coach Morris and even Coach Dykes and those guys that really invested in this place to get it pushed in the right direction, and then to see our donors in our group and, obviously Rick Hart coming in here, our president, Dr. Turner, as long as they've been here, and just to see everyone that's poured so much into this thing, and they got a guy like Rhett that had great vision, hit at a good time. And, man, that's a big, long answer to say the culmination of all that. You can imagine it was quite a feeling for these guys to be able to experience something like this.
Going back to that championship game, obviously didn't get the result you wanted, but can you talk about the performance? Obviously, it's a little start there, but then the offense got clicking. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I was disappointed in our start. I was really impressed by our finish, and honestly, I thought the game's going to end, and we probably all did. We got a chance to go into overtime and win this game, and Clemson's a good team. Hats off to them. They know how to win. They're well coached, and they did a great job finishing there at the end. I thought that once we settled down, we were able to do the things that we can do offensively. I did think that we had a good run plan. I thought that we ended up running the ball, right? I think we had the second most rush yards versus them than anybody that they played this season. And so that was one thing that we wanted to be, and I thought we were able to stick with that. And I know late the game kind of got strained, and we had to kind of throw it around and move it, there once you got to the 2-minute drill and stuff late. But, we got to be able to handle the ball earlier and start better. We can't put our defense in positions like they got into early in the game. It wasn't fair to ask Scott to defend 3, short yardage fields like that. But once they figured it out and they got them stopped, and hats off to them because they really did a great job of suppressing them, I thought, in the second half, and allowed us, as we were moving the ball the entirety of the game, missed field goal there, turned it over obviously twice, and just couldn't get it clicked, even though we felt good about where we were headed, but we stayed the course, and the guys were super calm and did a great job at halftime like they have been all year really, and came back out in the second half and tried to push, and then we closed it with about 11 minutes to go there. We had closed it to 10 points, and so we knew that we were back in striking distance. We were moving. We could feel the momentum kind of shifting towards us a little bit, and our guys responded. I was really proud of how they fought and they finished. I know that they were heartbroken there at the end. I know that they were at peace with the way that they fought. And, we asked them to be physical. I thought they were. We asked them to play hard. I thought they did. I don't think that this was a great practice that we had today. I don't think they're any less confident now than they were before. And but they know the things that we've got to get corrected if we're going to perform against the elite level, which is once you get to the playoff, there are no you have only elite teams, elite opponents in front of you. Then you can't you don't get mulligans, you don't get do-overs, you don't get to put your team in a hole and then expect to just battle back every single time. So we know that there's an urgency, I think, to prepare and come out and start really fast in these, in this next game, and put ourselves in, position to be competitive throughout the course of the game, and not playing chase the whole time.
Yeah, what does this week look like from excuse me, from practice perspective, and next week where you're trying to balance, making sure you keep working on things, but also know that, not only is there a big game coming up, but there is a stretch of games that, no player at this level has really played this game.
That's right. Yeah. No, we're definitely and we're a week 0 team, right? So we started the 3rd week of July or something. I think it's week 21 for us. But we are really, we're treating it like a bye week. It fell at a good rhythmic time, right? So we've had 3 bye weeks through the course of this, so we got pretty good at that through the course of the season. We got an opportunity to treat it like that, get a great opportunity to get those guys' bodies back. Obviously, we're serving the academic side of this thing as we head into finals and doing some of those things. But I think the way that it's structured, we've got good enough balance that's not going to interfere with what we're trying to accomplish during the week. So, been very consistent with what it is that we've done the past 3 bye weeks. Sometimes you can be too careful. You can be too ahead of the curve, and you can invest too much in that. I think we've done a good job of not doing that, and we've tried to stick to our base and tried to, dance with the girl that got us here offensively, and really pleased with our week so far. We got a couple more kind of cleanup practices. I know we got our banquet, which will be a great celebration on Sunday night, but to your point, we're not celebrating for long because we got to wake up Monday morning and it's game week again against an outstanding opponent, top 10 opponent, and really excited for the opportunity to get up there and do this.
Yeah, what do you see from Penn State on film?
I think that they're the most complete defense that we've played. They're certainly the most explosive defensive line. There's a one-off player here or there in other teams that we've faced. That's good, but as far as all around, they got 6 or 7 guys that show up on tape pretty consistently, and there's not a lot of drop off when they're in the game. They got good quality line. They're good up the middle. They got quality linebackers, quality safeties. Been impressed by their corners. They ask them to play man a lot, and they do that. So it's a complete football team. They've done a great job playing defense. They've crushed a number of the opponents that they've played. Just crushed the life out of them. And so we're certainly very aware of that. Got a great environment to go play in. I've never been to Happy Valley. I'm really excited about that opportunity. I think our kids are too. It's a fantastic opponent. I don't see a weakness on their defense. And it's going to take all of us playing really well the entire game in order to have a chance to win in the end.
Speaking of that environment, I heard you guys blaring the music during practice. Any kind of other things you guys are pumping in to get ready for an environment like that, and also even like the weather?
Yeah, you control what you can control. We know that that's what it's going to be. I think that there has to be an awareness of that. You can't blindly ignore it. But at the end of the day, Coach Lashley said it best at the beginning of practice today, right? This is going to come down to blocking and tackling and execution. And right at the end of the day, when the bands are off the field and we're out there playing, it's the same size football field as we're practicing on right now. And it's, we got to be able to do that. I think that we're ignorant if we don't understand what the noise can produce there. And, Coach Lashley and I have been in the SEC environments, and certainly it sounds like it can at least relate to that, And so I think we'll take preparations without going so far outside of the ordinary of what we're doing. We can't shift and change our entire mechanism in fear of something like that, and the noise will come, and there'll be a false start, or there'll be something that certainly that noise can contribute to it, and we respect that environment, and we love that environment, and what an opportunity our kids have got to be in front of that, and certainly got an opportunity to make a lifetime memory here, and we're going to go up there and do what we do, try to win this game.
And what in particular does Abdul Carter kind of offer, and if you faced anyone similar to him from what you've seen on tape?
No, I don't know that I've seen anybody's size and speed like him this year. Florida State had some good defensive linemen. Now, they play a little bit different style defense, and there was some of that. But he's a every down, consistent guy, moves around, lines up in different places. He is incredibly sudden. I don't know that we've seen anybody with his suddenness, right? His his 1 second turn around a tackle or his shuffle in an A gap or B gap when he's doing some of their plug stuff is it's remarkably sudden. It's to have an athlete that's at that size. It's what a fabulous player, and I know that Coach Justice and our offensive line is incredibly excited about the opportunity. We moved up to this level to be able to play against the best players that exist. Obviously, he's one of the top 10 best players in college football, and so we are great opportunity to get to see him in person and get to compete against him, and hopefully we can get some wins against him too.
Last thing I'll ask, unless anyone has anything else, is just you talking about transfer portal season. Just,
Yeah.
What is it like balancing that with preparing for this game and kind of finding that rhythm?
Yeah, I mean it's the insanity that is. I think that probably when the season ends and you're like past recruiting and you're sitting around in February and you look back, it's going to look a lot more comical and outrageous than right now we're in the weeds. Like, it is what it is. We have to do what we have to do. There's guys on campus today. There's guys that left campus yesterday. We got more coming in. We got our own players that want to be part of our team but are still trying to support their future. So we're serving all these different things. And I think if anything that COVID taught us, I remember by the time you got to about week 7 of COVID and there's a guy starting at right guard that may or may not have been on the scout team at the beginning of the season, and you don't and he's starting in an SEC game against, it's like at that point you understand, and I think all across college football you understand, whatever, we got to do the next thing, and you just kind of go to the next thing, go to the next thing, go to the next thing, and hopefully there's some stabilization in the future for our entire game, but until that point, you just got to keep showing up, and that's a great lesson in football. And a great opportunity for us to be there. And everything's reactionary right now, and we're still just kind of in the middle of the reaction. So ask me again in February, and I'll probably have some more gray hairs. But right now, hey, we got to prepare for Penn State. We also got to prepare our 25 team to be out and go defend our regular season championship, just like we did this year. And so we got a lot pouring into the next 2 weeks here, and obviously with our main goal being to prepare to go win this game.